Hello everyone, I'm on my quest to find the perfect earbuds for these ears, and now I've landed upon the Jabra Elite 7 Active. I opted for the Active over the Pros because the Active has that little rubber grip which is supposed to keep them more secure in your ear. Plus the Pros, their difference versus the Active is they have the technology, the bone conducting technology, which allows you to make better voice calls with them. That's just not something I use particularly often. And so for me, my criteria for earbuds and what I'm looking for are really three things. One, fit. It's got to fit. If it doesn't fit comfortably, then it's out. It's got to have great sound. If it doesn't have great sound, then what's the point? And then third is the ANC. If you're paying money for active noise canceling, it should be there, right? Like, there's a lot of companies who say that they're earbuds or ANC, but then you put them on and you can't tell the difference. So for me, I'm looking at fit, sound, ANC. Really excited about the Jabra Elite 7 Active. They seem to fit the bill. And what I wanted to do was try these out, then do a very quick comparison to the Anker Soundcore Liberty 3 and the Bose Quiet Comfort. I've had those earbuds as well. And I actually had a Master and Dynamic MW08, so I can give some insight into how the MW08s performed relative to these Jabra Elites 7 Active as well. So very quickly, when you open these things up, they're small, they're lightweight. The little rubber grip that's on it is actually only on the top half. Now, fortunately for me, my ear is pretty deep, and so when I put them in, you can see in terms of profile, that rubber is definitely going to be in contact with my ear. I saw some reviewers where the earbud was sort of sticking out, and so they weren't gaining the benefit of having the rubber stay guard. I can tell you that for me, when I put them in, they're very secure, and they're quite comfortable as well. I have to say, my ears are very sensitive, especially the left ear. And what was the problem with me with the Soundcore Liberty 3 was that it hurt my left ear. The right ear was great, but the left ear was problematic. These feel fine. I mean, you can definitely tell that they're in your ear. I haven't gotten to a point where I didn't know they were there, but they were comfortable. They didn't give me ear fatigue. So in terms of criteria number one, out of all the earbuds that I've tried, and we're talking again about these, the Jabra Elite 7 Pros, Soundcore Liberty 3, Bose Quiet Comfort, and the Master and Dynamic MW08. These are probably the most comfortable out of all of them. I think the Bose QCs would be in second place. Master and Dynamic MW08 would be third. And then the last one would be the Soundcore Liberty 3. And again, mileage will vary. The Soundcore Liberty 3, again, for me, the right ear was fantastic. It just bothered my left ear. But with that said, I wore those Soundcore Liberty 3s for a while, and after a while, the fatigue started to go away when I started to get used to it. So in terms of comfort, I would say that actually all of these earbuds are comfortable enough, certainly for me. And again, I have pretty sensitive ears. Now, when we get into sound, it's a different beast, right? These Jabras are sort of an enigma to me because I like them. I think they fit well. The app for them, the Jabra app, is great. You have a lot of control over the earbud and certainly the equalizer. And in fact, you can make your own equalizer settings, save them. It's great. It's a really nice feature. The Jabras also have the sound test, very similar to the Liberty 3s. They also have the ANC test, also very similar to the Liberty 3s. The problem with these, you've got to put them up high. They're not particularly loud, certainly not as loud as the Liberty 3s, not as loud as the Bose, not as loud as the MW08s. In addition, with sound, they don't sound as good as the Liberty 3s in my opinion. They don't sound as good as the Bose QCs in my opinion. They don't sound as good as the Master and Dynamic MW08. So these would be fourth on my list. The problem with these, again, besides them not getting particularly loud, I had to crank it to 70, 80% to get a really good thump out of it. It's not as wide. So the soundstage isn't as wide. It's a little bit tighter. Now, with that said, the bass is actually pretty good on this if you like bass. For me, I enjoy the bass, but I'm much more into the mids and the highs. I like the clear voice more than anything else, and I like track separation, and I like to hear musicality. And I really want to hear some spatial definition and spatial awareness. This doesn't quite have that. It's not on par with the other ones. It's not bad. So I don't want to misconstrue this at all. It's not bad. But if you're looking at the Liberty 3s, the Bose QCs, and the Master and Dynamic MW08, these are going to be in fourth place in terms of sound quality. We get into ANC. ANC, again, is sort of a no-brainer with all of these different earbuds. The Bose QCs are just on a completely different level. I had read mixed reviews about the Jabra Elite 7s and how they did with ANC. I have to say, these were much better ANC than I expected them. And I think the reason why some people are calling it weak ANC is maybe they're not following the ANC setup properly. And I could be wrong with this, but ANC has a particular setup using the app. And you have to set it up based upon what you are hearing. And so you put this on in a very loud environment, and then there's a slider bar. You use this slider bar to pick what has been the best ANC for you in that particularly loud environment. So I was actually pleasantly surprised with these ANC, or the ANC on these earbuds. As a matter of fact, I would put them on par with the Soundcore Liberty 3. Bose QC number 1, I would put these on par with the Soundcore Liberty 3, and then the MW08s would be at the bottom. MW08s, you really couldn't tell ANC on or off that much. It wasn't particularly good. So ANC-wise, these did a nice job. I was actually quite impressed with them. The other opposite of ANC is obviously Hearthrough. The Hearthrough on this was good. It was really good, and you could set the level of Hearthrough as well. So when you put this on max Hearthrough, everything sounded fairly natural. Again, I was really quite impressed with it. If I was to, again, rank the 4, Bose QC had the best Hearthrough. It was the most natural. It wasn't super duper loud. It wasn't really quiet. It was on par. It was what you should be hearing if you didn't have earbuds in your ears. These were number 2. These sounded really, really nice Hearthrough-wise. And again, this is an active earbud. You're supposed to be outside being active with these things, and you should hear surrounding, car driving by, ambulance, whatever the case may be. So having some control over your Hearthrough was really impressive as well. And this allowed you to control how much came in and how much didn't come in. The Soundcore Liberty 3 Hearthrough to me was not good. It was very digital. I didn't like it. It felt like I was in sort of a little vortex of some sort. That could be corrected perhaps with a firmware update. And then with the Master and Dynamic MW08, it was fine because there wasn't much ANC anyway. So you would turn on the Hearthrough and you could hear stuff pretty well. Okay, so big question is, am I going to keep these? And I'm actually on the fence with this one, because I like them. I like how they fit. I like how they feel in the ear. I like the ANC. I think it's actually better than what people have said it is. But I'm grappling a bit with the sound quality, because the sound quality, again, in the Soundcore Liberty 3 is better. And the sound of the Bose QC is better. But this one fits the most comfortable. So that's sort of what I'm grappling with. If you were to really, really press me, what am I going to do? I'd probably keep the Bose QC. They don't sound as good and as rich as the Liberty, but the ANC is just phenomenal, and they're really quite comfortable. But I hate to be sort of on the fence, but of all the 4, the top 2 would be between the Bose QC and the Soundcore Liberty 3. So more likely than not, these guys are going to go back. And that's that. All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. More earbuds to come whenever new stuff comes out. I have to try it because, again, I'm really trying to find that perfect set for me. And hopefully this is helpful for some of you who are going through the same process. All right. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Until the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.